Hello friends, I'm your Merin and welcome back to Love for Food and Travel. Today we are traveling to Bogatha Waterfalls in our electric car. After last week's intense rains, all the waterfalls in Telangana have come alive. If you open the Instagram, you can see a lot of posts and reels, especially on Bogatha Waterfalls. I love waterfalls and I plan to visit all the major waterfalls in Telangana this season. Due to safety concerns, Forest Department had closed the Bogatha Waterfalls till 26 July. So, we went to the waterfalls on 27 July Sunday in our EV car. Let's see how the trip went. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have been uploading videos related to EV car and charging infrastructure in India. In addition, we also have a good collection of restaurant reviews and new places in Hyderabad. We started our journey from Hyderabad at 7:30 in the morning with a charge of 100% and a range of 559 kilometers. The distance from Hyderabad to Bogatha Waterfalls is 338 kilometers and we plan to do it on the same day. But the main highlight of this trip is that we are doing this in an EV. Since there are not many charging stations on the way, and if you don't plan it properly, you may even get stranded on the road without charge. We went through Old Mumbai Highway and then entered ORR Expressway. We continued straight in ORR Expressway, maintaining a good speed of 100 km per hour. Luckily, today's weather has been really good with clear skies and no sign of rain yet. At 8 am, we covered 35 kilometers from home and we still need to cover 300 kilometers to Bogatha Waterfalls. At this point of time, we were left with 91% of charge with 500 kilometers range. We crossed RJ Airport exit and were cruising smoothly towards Warangal. From here onwards, there was no traffic and most of it went towards the airport. After driving for an hour, we reached Gatkesar toll exit, covering 82 kilometers as we entered Hyderabad-Warangal highway. Soon we reached Gudur toll plaza in Bhuvanagiri. At this point of time, we had covered 100 kilometers from home and the time was approximately 8:45 am. By 9, we stopped at New Vivera Hotel in Bhuvanagiri for breakfast, covering 113 kilometers from home. Here we decided to charge our car even though we were left with 78% charge. As I mentioned earlier, there are not much charges towards Bogatha Waterfalls, so charging here is highly advisable. Here they have charge zone charging station of 60 kW where we plugged our car for charging while we went inside to have our breakfast. We had our breakfast and came back in 30 minutes. By then, the car had charged till 94%, adding 14 kW for Rs 338 at Rs 21 per unit plus tax. By 9:30, we started from New Vivera Hotel towards Warangal. Bogatha Waterfalls was still 225 kilometers from here. It would take 3.5 kilometers to reach there. So we decided to go straight to the waterfalls and maybe charge the car while coming back. This means that we need to drive for another 360 kilometers before the next charge. Moreover, we don't have much of a choice in this route. I did see 1 or 2 charging points from Tata Power in Plugshare, but looking at the comments from users, I decided not to consider Tata charging points as some of them do not work at all. Others work only for Tata vehicles, and the main point being they are all outdated chargers of 30 kW. If you want, you can take a charging break in Warangal Hunter Road where they have a 60 kW charger from Charge Zone. Of course, we charged our car in this station while coming back. While reaching Warangal bypass, we saw a lot of goats at multiple places. I guess goat rearing is very popular in this region. The other point to highlight are the roads. I was particularly impressed with the quality of the roads lead from Hyderabad to Warangal and all the way till Bogatha Falls. Even though these places receive heavy rainfalls, the roads were perfect and intact even in this season. Of course, there were some 3 to 4 places where roads were bad due to some construction work, but that was still manageable. On the way, when we set the map to Bogatha Waterfalls, it was showing as though it was closed. I guess Google Map was not updated, and since we don't really take any decisions based on Google Map, we moved further without hesitation. Soon we entered Mulugu district and crossed Jawahar Nagar Toll Plaza. From here onwards, the whole area gradually transformed into lush green forest road, which was nothing short of a visual treat. There, we saw a lot of monkeys sitting on both sides of the road. In fact, they even got angry as they consider us an uninvited guest into their territory. Therefore, we drove our car carefully and slowly not to disturb the monkeys. Slowly, we reached the forest entry point where we paid Rs 50 as entry fee. We continued further, enjoying the scenic roads and monkeys on the way. By 1 pm, we reached the entry point of Bogatha Waterfalls. There we saw few cars waiting to enter, but we were in for a shock. Actually, Bogatha Waterfalls was closed and no one is allowed to enter. We did talk to the forest officers who said that yellow alert has been issued and hence the waterfall is closed for 3 days until further notice. We were really disappointed to hear this. We had come all the way from Hyderabad just to see the waterfall. Of course, this was our mistake to have come just by seeing the reels in Instagram without verifying it properly. In fact, when Google Maps said that the destination was closed, we really did not bother. At least now I realized that Google was right. I had to admit that. At this point of time, there was nothing much we could do. We went to the nearby bridge where we could see a good sight of the waterfalls. We spent few minutes watching it from a distance, and with great sadness we left that place. But this is not over. We will come back again and visit Bogatha Falls once they reopen to public. From there, we started returning back. This time, we set our map to Warangal Hunter Road where we wanted to charge our car in Charge Zone station. By the time we reached there, it was already 3:50 pm and we were just left with 26% charge and 125 km range. We quickly plugged in the charger and left our car charging while we went to have our lunch. Just behind the charging station, there was a restaurant called Dark Side Restaurant where we had our lunch. Though it was a 60 kilowatt charger, it was getting charged only at 48 kilowatt. On top of this, I had to share the charge with another car, so the overall charging speed was slow. At 5 pm, we stopped the charge and started moving towards Hyderabad. At that point of time, we had 59% charge with 292 kilometers range. The total distance to be covered from the charging point till our home was 207 kilometers, and I was confident that we will be able to make it with this charge. At the same time, we did not compromise on the AC or on the entertainment. We watched movies on the passenger screen while we were cruising smoothly on ORR back home. Just when the charge went below 20%, the range and the charge display turned red. Finally, at 8:20, We reached home with a charge of 17% and a range of 80 kilometers. With this, today we covered 681 kilometers at an efficiency of 7.1 kilometers per kilowatt hour, which was really good. If we calculate the range based on this, we would be getting 560 kilometers on a single charge. For this trip, I spent rupees 2526 to cover 681 kilometers, and therefore, if we go by the calculation, I spent rupees 3.7 per kilometer on this trip. So friends, hope you liked our video. Please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until we meet again in another interesting video, be happy and keep smiling.